Right now, expressing faith through the medium of film. Here's Maggie with her guest.
Thanks, John. Jamie Rauch has been working in the film, TV, and theater industry for over 20 years and is an award-winning actor and film producer. In September of 2013, Jamie, while talking to a friend about his desire to change the film industry for God, decided to start a chaplain ministry to workers in the film industry. Now, in partnership with the Pentecostal Assemblies of Canada, Jamie's ministry, Light in Film, is set to do just that, bring the light of Jesus into a world of much darkness. But before we hear Jamie's story, let's take a look back at some of the sad stories that have come out of Hollywood in the past number of years.
Had been battling severe depression of late.
Murphy's death at age 32 was an accident.
Has been in and out of rehab 6 times.
The breakup of Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston.
Anti-anxiety, sleeping aid, as well as painkiller.
A suspected drug overdose. She had major contusions on both sides of her face.
One of Hollywood's hottest young couples for over 3 years.
Was found dead Sunday in his Greenwich Village apartment.
You judge me, you condemn me, you discarded me.
Just because you are a celebrity doesn't mean you can be punished more severely.
So I think we suffer from the same thing, which is just a lack of attention and love.
Jamie Rauch joins us today. Hey, Jamie.
Hey.
It's sad. I mean, you know, we think about those stories, and, you know, we've heard of Bill Cosby yesterday and what's come out of that. We can think of so many more stories that are in the headlines today. Yeah. Why start this ministry?
Well, I started it because it was basically obedience. God wanted it to happen, and through since 2013, I can see the urgency that He's even put on it. I look at guys like Charlie Sheen on that video, and he says, "You judge me and you condemn me," and it just breaks me watching that. But yeah, so there's an urgency on people in this industry that I have spent many years in, watching them literally dying, internally, physically, in all sorts of ways. So there's an urgency that there's a need to be met, and it's not necessarily being met. So that would be the motive of why to start this. Yeah. It's I speak the language, I understand the language because I've been a part of the industry for so long, and it just made sense that God put the two together. So
you talk about the redemptive power of Christ through this, and being a Christian, as you said, in this industry. What light can you and have you been able to bring to your friends who you work with day in and day out as you see their lives crumble?
Yeah, it's a journey, especially with the Christians. It's tough because there's such a low percentage of them actually in the industry, and so when you find them, you really want to try to encourage them to make their identity in Christ, not in the industry, because the industry will consume you. I love the industry, I promote the industry, but it will consume you if you're not planted properly. Yeah. I mean, with a 98% divorce rate, the suicide rate is through the roof. So that it's tough, and we struggle with that. To try to make sure the identity is in Jesus. And so to bring the light into it, that's what we do, is we empower, we encourage, we equip believers that are in the industry to be that light and to actually have a purpose now. And it's amazing how I've seen people go just to work their daily lives in the industry, and now they go into that industry, and now they're seeing these gospel opportunities within, and it's not by saying stuff. Yeah. It's strictly by showing and performing love that they've never seen before.
Yeah. Right. When you talk to some of your friends who are not Christians in the film industry, and you present Jesus to them, what's usually their reaction?
The reaction is they're always they push back a bit, yeah, for sure, but it's all in the timing on how you present it. right? And so I have found that you got to be pretty sensitive, and I'm not one, because they think right away that
you're going to judge them.
Exactly. Judge them, push religion on them,
right?
And that's not what I'm here to do. God's called me to be an advocate to them, and so I will do what I can in my power to serve and love and help and guide, just to promote healthy marriages in the film industry, promote healthy living in the film industry, and to help guide. I mean, I had a guy addicted to crystal meth come to me and say, hey, listen, what I believe in doesn't work, but I see what you do works. Can you help me? And can you help me on the road to recovery? And so now we're on a journey with this guy on a road to recovery. So,
and that takes investment on your end to be able to walk with these guys, walk with these women through this. You have a ministry where it's kind of underground, it's kind of secretive. Tell us about that.
Yeah, totally. So it's we found the importance to create a safe place, and because everyone in the industry feels like you want something from them, and they're always feeling like there's someone trying to take something from you. And so if we can provide a place where they can come and be a part of a community where they don't feel judged, everyone's like-minded, and they hear the love of Jesus, that is what we're finding was what's working. And they'll keep coming back, and then they'll invite others to come. So we do that. In Vancouver, we meet in an underground, we call it an underground Bible study. But it's invite only, no social media, no autographs, no schmoozing, handing out business cards. It's just a safe place to come and hang out with other guys, other girls in the industry on all sorts of ends of entertainment as well, not just film. We got stand-up comedians, models, UFC fighters, all sorts of people that come and they can express their faith, or they don't express their faith, but they come because they don't know why they're there, but they want what we have, and they're not there yet. But it's a journey, and so we're not going to push anything, but we're just going to show the love of Jesus.
You have some great stories in your book, Light in Film. You talk about just run-ins that you've had with different friends and just them calling you in desperation, but also just weird situations you find yourself in on set. Tell us about some of those.
Yeah, there's some pretty crazy stories that you would never even think of. Stuff that happens that you don't think people can get away with in real life, but it actually happens. It's pretty, the book's called Light in Film, Stories Behind the Glamour. So we see all this glamour in Hollywood, but at the end of the day, behind the scenes, it's not very glamorous. But there is aspects. I don't judge the industry for it, because I love the industry, but yeah, there's some stories that are weird and don't make a lot of sense. And but I mean, example, I mean, I was doing another interview once, and I had to meet a guy, and he had canceled on me, and I've been trying to connect with him for years, and he canceled on me because he was high on crystal meth, and he was too embarrassed to meet with me because he was high. He doesn't know Jesus, but and I said to him, listen, like, I'll meet you anyways. I don't care. That's what friends do, right? And so, and that's the point, is that put all that garbage aside, and let's just you know, have this relationship, because I'm here to be an advocate to you. Yeah. I mean, I got so many stories. That's, if you get the book,
You tell of one story that just blew my mind. You're up somewhere north, and it's cold, and you had a long day. It started late, and so it's like, what, 3 o'clock in the morning, and one of the production people says to the cast or all the crew, you know, guys, you worked so long, so hard, you deserve to get back to the hotel, and we'll have an orgy.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, straight up.
I mean, and so you jump in, and you had planned to go to the hotel initially, and then this is proposed, and you say, well, I guess I'm going home. Yeah. And you jump in your car and go home.
Yeah, and almost crashed about 5 times because I was so tired. It was,
now, is that normal? Like, is this, like, obviously not the orgy thing, but is it normal that people are just so open about just vulgarity and just no care about people's moral standards? Is that normal in the film world?
What I think it is, to be honest with you, is that they're so overworked and so overtired that when you're in that state of overtiredness, you're weak. You just become weaker mentally, right? And then you start. I've heard some people say when you're like being tired is worse than drinking and driving, like at night when you're driving. And so it takes people to a place where maybe they are feeling inside, but then all of a sudden it just comes out. in those moments of weakness. And so I wouldn't say and judge things that saying that it happens all the time, but it happens, obviously. I mean, I know a lady who was in the film industry for 7 years, and she was in the catering side of things, but she was also secretly a prostitute to film industry people at the same time. And now today she knows Jesus, and when she met me, she looked at me and she said, "Are you the film guy?" And I said, "Yeah." This was in church. "Are you the film guy?" And I said, "Yeah." And she looked at me and started crying. And she's like, "Where were you 15 years ago?" And then went on to tell me her story, you know. And so now she serves on our leadership team because, you know, now she's an outlet to help. She wants to help people that are in this business that were like she was, right?
Yeah,
so
there's hope. You know, I think of yourself, I think of Judah Smith. These are, you know, there's so many more pastors that are saying, you know, we need to be love, we need to be light in these dark places. You know, we think of the kind of the roller coaster that Justin Bieber's been on. We look at the Kardashians, we see all of these people on television, and it is easy to judge. It is easy to wag our finger and say, you know, they don't know Jesus. But you're right. I mean, I think what you are doing, what Judah's doing, is trying to bring light to these places and say, instead of judging, we need to love. We need to embrace. And so what is something that you would say to people at home as we're watching these shows and we're saying, oh, that's just another Hollywood person. We, you know, we think of divorces, as you said, the divorce rate is so high. How can we continue to be that love? We're not there with you or with these stars every single day, but we can be agents of change. We can remember that redemptive quality that Jesus gave to us, that grace that he showed to us.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And that's just it, like, not to judge what's going on because they don't know better, right? And if they don't know better, then we don't have a right to judge, you know? And it's like the woman caught in adultery, right? Who's gonna throw the first stone, you know? And that's what an advocate is to be. And if people at home can't physically do it, then they can also support us so that we can release people to do it and to be there for them. The Bible says it's harder for a rich man to enter the kingdom, and there's a lot of money to be made in this business. And I just think we've missed it a bit on seeing them and judging for what they've done and the lyrics people sing and the movies that they've done. But we have people placed in movie sets. That's the important thing. Like even in the movie 50 Shades of Grey, we have a guy that's on set showing the love of Jesus on that movie. Now, are we going to judge him for being on that movie? Well, no, he's not doing anything wrong on the film. Not doing anything wrong. Are we going to judge him because that's not his identity? His identity is not 50 Shades of Grey. His identity is Jesus, but he's there talking with the lead actress, showing love in ways that she's never seen before, and not giving her guilt trips for doing what she's doing, but build a relationship so that maybe that day will come when she asks about Jesus, right?
So we need to look past that and see Jesus in the light of everything.
Yeah.
You have a website, Jamie, where people can find out more about you. What's that website?
lightandfilm.org.
Yeah. And I love what you say. You say that your 3 goals for this ministry is to build relationships, encourage Christians in the industry, and have monthly gatherings. So you want to make this a regular thing. You want to be the best example of Jesus that you can be in that.
Yeah, we actually do meet bi-weekly, every 2 weeks in downtown Vancouver. And then we plan to expand to Toronto and Montreal as part of the vision.
Well, God bless you, Jamie, in that work. I mean, I know it's a hard mission field, but it's one that needs people that are focused on Jesus and focused on redemptive grace, all the things that Jesus showed to us. So thank you again.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Well, I'm so glad that Jamie Rauch stopped by to see us. He's playing a strategic role, and we need to pray for him. I kind of understand some things that he's talking about. I have a son that's in show business, and my son Andy is a songwriter and performer. He's scoring a motion picture right now that's set to be released next year that stars Daniel Radcliffe, the Harry Potter character, as well as Paul Dano. You may remember him from There Will Be Blood. And it is an interesting industry for folks to work in, and it's an interesting place for people to be followers of Jesus Christ. So remember those that Jamie is trying to reach, and pray for Jamie that God would give him strength and courage and the resources he needs to make a difference.